It's now 7:02. We want to reconvene our regular scheduled board meeting. And before we get to our normal pledges of allegiance and so forth, I would like to ask my colleague, Mr. Lopez, to go to the front so we can do the oath of office for you, sir.
Oh, that's right. I guess I should have used more into something other than jeans.
We'll do it for the waste.
Thank you.
Did he win?
I don't know if you can get me above the waist with Peggy standing next to me. Yep. I, Keith Lopez, do solemnly swear
That I will faithfully execute the duties of office
that I will faithfully execute the duties of office
of the Board of Trustees, Position 2,
of the Board of Trustees, Position 2,
of the State of Texas,
in the state of Texas.
and will do the best of my ability
I will do the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the United States
of the United States
and of this state.
and of this state.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Peggy. Appreciate it. Forgot all about that.
Once again, we'd like to welcome everybody here. Thank you for coming for our July regular scheduled board meeting. At this time, if we could all stand, and I would ask my parliamentarian, Mr. Rushing, to lead us through our pledges.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
If you'd remain standing for a moment of silence, please. All right, very good. You may be seated. I do not see any. Dr. Sconzo, do we have any commendations or recognitions tonight?
Mr. President, it being summer, we have no commendations, we have no stellar standouts, we have no super staffers. But we will get back to that when school is, all of that when school is back in session. So it really was a great year, but absolutely I'm confident the best is ahead. So we look forward to the new school year. And Mr. President, if I may, before I turn it back to you, I do want to take the privilege in the spirit of what was a great year and is starting out to be an even better year. I want to take the privilege to introduce to you and everyone tonight our new general counsel, Randy Gunter. Randy, welcome to the family, and we're thrilled to have you.
Thank you, Dr. Sconzo. It's good to be here. Fantastic. All right, Ms. Young, we don't have any questions or comments from the public, is that correct? All right, so now let's move on to comments by individual board members. And let's start to my right, Ms. Morrison.
Well, I just want to say it was an outstanding year, all the accomplishments of our students and our staff. Congratulations, let's make it another one.
Very good, very good. Mr. Engelhoff.
No comments, Mr. President.
Okay. Mr. Cunningham.
No comments, Mr. President.
Mr. Lopez.
No comments.
Let's move this way. Mr. Rushing.
Welcome, sir. Glad you're here. No more comments.
All right, and Ms. Conrad. Okay. And all I will say is, Mr. Gunter, as we talked beforehand, you had to come all the way from Liberty, and I still got my butt chewed out for hiring you, or for recommending you, or approving you, I guess is what we did. Your board caught me and just said, I can't believe y'all stole him from us. So the bar is pretty high. Don't mess up. Okay.
I'll do my best, Mr. President.
All right. Dr. Sconzo?
Mr. President, no report, but I do want to, since tonight now it is very official, to thank and welcome Keith back to our team. Glad you were here.
Thank you, Dr. Scalzo.
All right, Mr. Rushing, do we have any items from closed session?
Yes, sir, Mr. President. As to personnel, I move that the board approve administration's personnel recommendations as presented with addendum.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. All those in favor? 7-0.
As to student placements, I move that the board approve the student placements and alternative education programs as presented by the superintendent.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. All those in favor? 7-0. And do we have any motions for past minutes?
Yes, Mr. President, as to minutes, I move the board approve minutes for the regular board meeting held on June 9th, 2015.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor? 6 and 7-0. One abstention.
Two. Did you abstain as well?
I abstained,
Two,
yes.
two
All right,
abstentions.
5-0 with 2 abstentions.
You were at the June 9th meeting, right?
Correct. Abstain.
All right, go ahead. Wait, now I'm confused.
June 9th.
June 9th.
June 9th.
Abstaining June 9th.
You're abstaining and you're abstaining.
I am abstaining.
Okay, yeah, 5-0 with 2 abstentions.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. President, as to minutes, I move that the board approve the minutes for the special meeting and workshop held on June 23rd, 2015.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Now we're at 7-0. All right. Now let's move to our committees. Audit committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. The audit committee, we've been off for the summer, but however, we will be meeting, I believe it's going to be July 28th. Right, Sean? And so we'll be meeting then, and I think that we had a draft report for our monthly stats, Mr. President, and I sent those to you to look at, and we'll give them out to the rest of the board.
Okay, perfect. Ms. Conrad, board and superintendent evaluation.
Yes, sir, we met last month, and we're meeting this evening, following this meeting. And I believe we have a workshop scheduled to go over some of this as well. That's about it.
Okay, perfect, perfect.
What date is that workshop? Do you have that? That's it. I'll get it from you.
I'm sorry, I'm saying about that. I'm gonna have to look.
Okay. That's what-
Yeah, it got pushed back a little bit further. We're waiting for the student results to come in. And,
I think it's the first week in August, but I'll double check and get back to you.
Okay.
okay, building and planning, Mr. Iguana.
Yes, sir. As you know, we had a good meeting on Thursday, and then we had a road trip on Friday. And Dr. Brown's Volvo going down some muddy roads. Got it all dirty, so we saw a lot of good land that we purchased, and everything's going smoothly. A few little hiccups here and there, but that goes smoothly. So, very good meeting, and look forward to closing on those other properties. Anything new? Exciting?
I think you did great.
Thank you, sir. That's it.
All right, perfect. Education Foundation, Ms. Conrad.
Education Foundation, yes, we would like to share with you that there are 3 new board members this year. The first is Martina Dixon, and Martina served on the grant review committee as a principal for the day, and as a principal for the day. And she and her husband Scott have 4 children. Her oldest daughter, which you probably all know, Cassidy, graduated this year from the IB program at Humble High School. We're also welcoming Kelly Ryan. Kelly is Director of Quality at Memorial Hermann Northeast, and she has served on the Gala Committee for many years, and also as principal for the day. She and her husband Dean are longtime supporters of the foundation. They have 2 children, Hallie and Parker, who attend Creek with them. And then finally, we are also welcoming to the board Sandra LaPlade. Sandra is the Senior General Manager for Dearborn Hall, and she has served on the grant review committee and as principal for a day. She previously served on the Mesquite ISD Education Foundation.
All right, very good. Finance Committee, Mr. Rushing.
No report.
All right. Kingwood Super Neighborhood Council, I believe that is Ms. Morrison.
No report at this time.
Legislative Committee,
And no report at this time.
Program Committee, Mr. Lopez.
We had a meeting last Tuesday where, among other things, we went over the progress that we're making with the RTI. I'm happy to report that things are looking up and much, much better. We're well on our way of making that program, again, one that we can be proud of, and it sets the pace for other school districts like we did at one time. So we're really proud of the progress we've made there. But we do have more work to do, of course, but we are not near the situation we were in a couple of years ago when we first started evaluating that program, the program evaluation committee. We talked about some other issues, but that's the one I'd like to report on. So thank you, Mr. President.
All right, lastly, Technology and Data Governance, Ms. Conrad.
Our committee met, I believe it was last week, and welcomed Mr. Inglowadi. And so we brought him up to speed. That took a while. We brought him up to speed, and then Mr. Allen gave us an update on summer projects, and we kind of discussed how we would like to bring to y'all a summary of how those projects align with our technology plan. And so we'll be bringing that to you in the form of a workshop probably right at the beginning of the school year.
All right, very good.
New app.
That's right, we have the new app.
We also, yes, I don't have any other details to add to that. I'll provide those next time. We also went over our board agenda items and answered any questions for tonight.
Okay, perfect, thank you very much. All right, so now let's go through the consent agenda. First, under governance considerations, there are no items for this discussion. Superintendent's division reports, no items. Learning division reports, item A, interlocal agreement with Crosby ISD. Consent. Item B, discipline management plan, student code of conduct for 2015-16 school year. Consent. Item C, early release and late arrival waiver. Consent. Under Financial Services Division reports, considerations and purchases. Item A, tax refunds. Consent. Item B, waiver of P&I. Consent. Item C, budgetary amendments. Consent. Item D, 2015-16 employee benefits program. That's consent. Under Human Resources, no items for tonight's meeting. Under Support Services Division reports, considerations. Item A, Atascocita High School natatorium boiler replacement, closeout and final payment. Consent. B, generator replacement project, closeout and final payment. Consent. C, construction and construction-related purchases. Consent. District-wide reports, considerations, and purchases. Item A, goods, professional services, and non-construction services exceeding $50,000 in the aggregate or $25,000 individually. That is consent. All right, can I get a motion? The final two things on our deal we're going to take individually. So can I get a motion from you, Mr. Rushing?
Yes, sir. As to the consent agenda, I move that the board approve the following items by consent. Under Learning Division, items A, B, and C. Under Financial Services Division, items A, B, C, and D. Under Support Services Division, items A, B, and C. And under district-wide reports, considerations, and purchases, item A.
Have a motion?
Second.
We have a second. All those in favor? 7-0. All right. Under governance, we have a report, proposed board policy CCA local.
Mr. President, we're providing that to the board tonight for your information. It would be our intent to come back at the August meeting for your consideration and action at that time. I do want to highlight that there is no legal requirement for a board of trustees to adopt a local policy governing bond referendum planning. But knowing that is very definitely in our future because of our student growth, we thought it wise to establish a governing policy for the district to function under by way of expectations for preparing and having specific work completed and reviewed by the board prior to the board ever considering a budget.
Okay. All right, and then we also have a report under financial services, our normal tax collection report. You should have all received that.
Yes, and Ms. Lynn and I would be happy to respond to any questions if trustees have any.
All right, not seeing any, let's move on to the last phase. Under board reports, considerations, and purchases, we have been asked to endorse 2 members of our local area to the TASB, re-election to the TASB board. Do I give this to him or what?
Just ask for a motion.
Okay, so item A, endorsement of Spring ISD board member Ron Cryer. I need a motion.
So moved.
All right, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstentions? 1. So we're at 6, 0, and 1 on that one. Okay? And then item B, endorsement of Barber's Hill ISD board member Benny May in his reelection bid. I need a motion.
So moved.
I need a second.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. All those in favor? 7-0. All right, do we have any future board business, anything we need to put in the parking lot to discuss at a later time? With that said, this meeting is adjourned.
Yeah.